Alright, so today's video is going to be kind of like an expansion on the last one that I did about the RP200, where I covered some of the amp models and the equalizer, but not any of the cabinet models or effects or anything like that. So what I've got going right here is I've got my guitar, which is the LTD, let's see, the MH1000, just always got to double check that. And then, let's see, I'm running straight into the Old Blood Noise Endeavor Signal Blender. And from there, channel A is going to be the RP200, channel B is going to be the Simplifier. And then those two sounds from there are going to be combined into the Simplifier's cab simulator there. So I will be able to adjust some of that. So again, no cab simulation coming from the RP200. It's all coming from the back end of the Simplifier. And this little easy trim thing that I have is made by Sweetfoot. And it's kind of interesting. It's a passive volume control, but only brings you down. It doesn't give a boost or anything like that, so it's come in handy. And the reason I'm using it right here is because I was getting a lot of signal coming into the mixer as I was testing this out, and this is just kind of a way to control, kind of tame a lot of the sound before it gets to the speaker simulator there. So enough of that, let's go ahead and take a look at three specific types of amps. Because the Simplifier has the Marshall, a Vox, and a Fender in there, we're going to look at those kind of equivalent amps that would be in the RP200, which doesn't have a huge list, but does have one of each of those brands. So we'll start off with the Marshall. Let's see, this is channel B, tuned to D standard. So I can bring the preamp up. You always kind of have to balance with the Simplifier there. More gain, you have to drop down the post volume. Alright, let's check out the RP200. So just to show the amp type is on the stack, which that's their version of, I think it was the JCM 900. Of course, I have EQ control. You get that kind of weird sound when you're dialing through it. The treble. There we go. So again, that's the RP. That's the Simplifier. Fender settings. Bringback speakers, 412s. Now watch what happens. It's cool, you know. It's not like they're too far off. I can't hear a difference, but watch what happens when I try to combine the two signals. Get that kind of telephony, out of phase sound, which is probably happening because the Simplifier is a very direct signal with no digital conversion really going on with it, and the RP200 is doing that. And we've seen that with other units that we've tried out too. The HX Stomp does the same thing whenever you are mixing the signals with the two of those, because it's converting. There's a tiny little bbit of latency, and it's not so bad when you hold out a chord, but definitely when you attack. Even if I invert the phase, it's like, okay, it changed it, but it's still got that same kind of like telephone signal to it. So I want to go with one or the other. That's the Simplifier. That's the RP200. Neither one of them are bad or anything. In fact, you could probably get cool sounds out of both of them there. But let's go ahead and move on. So I got to select all the way back to amp model, and let's see, the first one that we have, the blackface, is going to be their Fender, one of their Fender options anyway. So let's go ahead and up here flip to the middle position, which is the Fender amp, and let's see, turn my volume back up. Let's see. All right, the level is pretty high. Let's bring that down. The gain. So even with that up, gain all the way, it doesn't get that distorted. Alright, so let's see. So that is the RP200. Over here, obviously, with the gain up, it gets more distorted. You can kind of balance that out with the power and then the overall master volume. So I have 3 gain stages to consider there. So let's kind of balance it out there. Okay, so that's the simplifier. Probably could dig it a little bit more. Still kind of edge of breakup. Let's back it up. Maybe adjust the bass down just a little bit too. And you know what? Let's go ahead and flip to the black speaker. So green, black, not a huge difference, and then that's typically like a 212 cab. Alright, back to the RP. Sounds a little bit more nasally. Might be able to EQ that out. Yeah, let's see. The simplifier definitely sounds a lot brighter, more lively. Yeah, not really quite the same. And then of course if I stack them, we get that kind of telephone-like sound. Let's just go ahead and move on to the last one, which is going to be the Vox. So to get to that one, get back to the amp models, and I'm switching to actually the Clean 1, which is, I think, their version of a Vox boosted amp there. So let's see how this one sounds. So even with the gain all the way up, again, it's not really getting that distorted, it's just boosted. They really intend it to be a clean amp, not so much a exact replica of the amp that they're modeling there. Right, and let's change the simplifier speakers too. So let's go to the blue. And then these are typically like a single. So that was one. That's the other one. Bring the bass down some, the mids up a little bit. There we go. Not get too crazy with the EQ on there if we don't have to. Alright, and then let's see, back to the simplifier. Let's go ahead and put it on the AC brick, and let's see what happens. Let's see, I'm going to bring the volume down so I can, yeah, you can boost. The gain goes a lot higher on this one than what they're trying to provide with you, which, again, it does say that it's the Clean 1 amp, so that makes sense. Let's just kind of compare them. And I feel like I'm really being careful with this one. I don't want to boost it too much. Simplifier definitely wins on this one. I mean, this can work, but I feel like the quality of the sound and the flexibility of it is definitely a lot better on this. And, it's not really fair to compare the EQ sections on these either, because this one is kind of a 0 to 10 type of EQ, and this is more of a kind of like a active parametric EQ, where noon is 0, and then you're cutting as you're turning to the left of that, and then boosting as you're turning to the right, which both have their advantages, but it's just interesting the sounds that it makes. And there's no sense really trying to get too deep with these. I think we're showing that in most cases the Simplifier is winning in the preamp side of it anyway there, but you can still get some pretty good usable sounds out of the RP200. You've still got like the rectified sound and then acoustic sounds and things like that that could still be run with the Simplifier that it does not have within there. So no need to go too crazy long with this video or anything. I hope that this has been insightful, though, getting to see the guitar. Again, I'm just running guitar straight into the Old Blood Noise Endeavor signal blender. Channel A was the RP200, channel B was the Simplifier, and then the Sweetfoot volume adjuster was kind of helping me to not peak out or anything on the signal here. So thank you again very much, and I will see you in another video soon.